Hey guys, tonight we're going to the first day of school, a tiny room filled with sticky fingers, suspicious fruit smells, and one absolutely deranged child who thinks you're Doraemon. Do you know Doraemon? That blue space cat robot thing from the future? Yeah, him. That's who you're going to be today. On accident. Picture this, the sun's already up when your alarm decides to join the party. Your eyes shoot open, and for a moment, you think you're dreaming. Then you see the digital red numbers blinking like they're mocking you. You're late. Very late. First day of work, dress to impress, maybe I'll meet my boss late. You fly out of bed, trip on your own sock, and land on your dignity. 2 minutes later, you're brushing your teeth with one hand, buttoning your shirt with the other, and trying to remember how many times you agreed to this job for the paycheck. Oh right, 3. The shirt ends up with a stripe of minty toothpaste art across the front, and there's no time to fix it. You throw on a jacket, grab a banana, still green, and dive into the waiting arms of your chariot, a very impatient, very tiny tuk-tuk with Ben's Lightning Express painted on the side in cracked gold. The driver doesn't speak much, but his horn does all the talking. It's more dramatic than necessary. Every bump feels like a test of your spinal alignment, and the banana goes flying out the window somewhere near District 5. You finally arrive at the school, a charming pastel building that smells like fresh paint, old chalk, and stewed mung beans. As you walk through the gates, a squadron of 3-year-olds is practicing synchronized screaming. You nod to yourself. You're in the right place. The receptionist gives you a polite smile and a badge that says babysitter, temporary. You feel honored and vaguely like a snack. The headmistress, a tall woman with impossibly perfect hair and the voice of someone who survived 20 years of toddler logic, waves you into her office. You're late, she says, without looking up. You try to explain traffic, tuk-tuk, the green banana, but she just sighs, stands, and leads you down the hallway like a general taking a rookie into battle. When she opens the classroom door, your entire nervous system shuts down. There are 24 toddlers inside. 24 tiny humans with varying degrees of nose gunk, energy levels, and wardrobe stability. One of them is wearing a full Spider-Man costume. Another is holding a chicken plush like it's an ancient relic. The volume level is similar to that of an EDM festival held inside a blender. The headmistress claps once. Silence. That's her power. This is your new babysitter, she says. Try not to break him. And just like that, she's gone. You're standing there, blinking, surrounded by toddlers who are sizing you up like sharks around a chubby seal. You smile. A little wave. One kid immediately throws a crayon at your shoe. Then, he appears. Short, bowl haircut, big eyes filled with the kind of purpose you only see in anime protagonists. He marches toward you and stops just shy of your knees. Points a stubby finger up at you. You prepare for whatever this is. Doraemon, he shouts with the joy of a boy who's just reunited with his long-lost time-traveling robot uncle. You look down. Confused. He hugs your leg like you're made of marshmallow. And this is how your day begins. The class accepts his proclamation without question. You are now Doraemon. Several kids join in, chanting it like a football cheer. Doraemon. Doraemon. One tries to look into your jacket pocket for gadgets. Another asks if you can fly. You try to explain. You're not Doraemon. You don't even own a gadget. You once had a USB fan shaped like Pikachu, but it broke. Still, the name sticks. And so does the kid, literally. His name is Nobi. You learn this when a little girl corrects him, that's not Doraemon, Nobi. He glares at her. She's just jealous, he whispers to your ankle. Nobi doesn't leave your side. At recess, he drags you into the sandbox to fix the future. He builds what looks like a sink with sticks and calls it the time machine dock. You're given a pine cone and told it's the key. Meanwhile, the other kids test your limits. One smuggles a frog into the classroom and names it math teacher. You are now responsible for both the frog and Nobi's belief in your multidimensional powers. During snack time, you forget to open a juice box properly and shoot mango nectar into your own face. This earns applause. Nobi insists it's your banana gadget malfunctioning. You roll with it. At some point, a small voice behind you asks, "Can you take me to 2040? You say, "Not without permission slips." The day passes like a blurry game show. You answer the same question about space robots 8 times. You referee 2 arguments about whose dad is taller. You lose a shoe. Nobi replaces it with a slipper from Lost and Found and says, "This will help you fly better." A child tells you a fun fact, "Elephants can't jump, and neither can my grandma." You nod respectfully. Another kid says, "Is laughter a cure-all?" You say yes. He says, "Then why did it not fix my fish?" Tough crowd. When you finally check the clock, it's only noon. You try to sit down, just for a minute, and instantly, 4 children dogpile you, demanding a story. You begin telling them about a dragon who went to preschool. Nobi corrects you. No. A dragon that teaches preschool. You comply. Later, someone tries to put stickers on your face. You let them. By the time pickup happens, you are more sticker than man. The headmistress returns. She observes your transformation, from toothpaste-stained stranger to Doraemon, destroyer of juice boxes, and offers a quiet nod. "How was it?" she asks. You consider your answer. Your back hurts, your leg is asleep, your dignity is hanging by a thread, and your face smells like fermented guava. But there's a little hand holding yours, and a boy with big dreams pointing to the stars outside the window. It was a ride. She smiles. Great. You're on again tomorrow. And just like that, you've entered Futureland. You show up early today. Not responsible adult early, paranoid Doraemon early. The headmistress isn't even here yet. The tuk-tuk guy was so surprised to see you on time he offered you a discount, which means you now owe him slightly less money than usual. Win. The school gate creaks open like something out of a Miyazaki film, and for a moment, all is peaceful. Birds chirp. Morning sun spills golden light on the yard. You take a deep breath. This will be better. You're ready. Then the classroom door bursts open like a scene from an action movie and a child barrels out wearing a cape made of toilet paper and shouting, "Doraemon, today I conquer time." It's Nobi. Again. He throws himself at your leg like a caffeinated koala. "Quick," he says, "I have to take roll call before the villains arrive." You blink. Don't teachers usually do roll call? He shakes his head. I'm the deputy of destiny now. You enter the classroom, once again surrounded by pint-sized agents of chaos. One kid is chewing on a shoelace. Another is holding a plastic spoon like it's a royal scepter. The air smells like Play-Doh, glue, and warm hopes. Children of Futureland. Nobi announces, standing on a tiny chair. Doraemon will now learn your names. He hands you the class list, which you can only assume he stole from somewhere. The handwriting is definitely that of a stressed adult who ran out of blue ink halfway through. You glance at the first name. Okay, drunk yet? Present, says a girl. Huh. Nobi looks proud. I renamed her. But, that's a boy's name? She's a powerful leader, he whispers. She needs an army name. Right. You move on. The next name is Dragon. No surname. Just Dragon. Here, yells a small boy wearing sunglasses indoors. Of course he is. He hands you a card. It's laminated and says, Official Dragon, approved by the Time Police. You pause. Who exactly are the Time Police? Nobi leans in solemnly. We don't talk about them since the jelly incident. You move on, trying not to make eye contact with a child who is clearly drawing an elaborate tattoo sleeve with washable marker. The list gets stranger. You have Bonmi, who insists she was named after her mother's lunch. Captain Moonlight, whose real name is Thursday. Shark-chan, a boy who only answers when you say Jaws 2, the preschool awakens. Midway through roll call, a new kid arrives, clutching a lunchbox and wearing a frown like he's auditioning for the Grinch, kindergarten edition. His mother introduces him, this is Kwa. He's shy. You kneel and say, "Hey Kwa, welcome." He looks you dead in the eye and says, "Do you bite?" You blink. Only on Thursdays. He seems satisfied with that answer. Nobi walks over and places a paper crown on your head. You passed the test, he says. You're ready for the ceremony. You think he's joking. He is not. The ceremony involves dragging chairs into a circle, everyone wearing kitchen towels like robes, and each child naming their hero vegetable. Yours is broccoli, for diplomacy. Nobi picks carrots because they're missiles. You begin to wonder if this school is just a weird fever dream and somewhere, your real life is waiting in a forgotten Excel spreadsheet. But then something weird happens. A calm moment. You ask, "Who wants to help me water the class plant?" Instantly, 12 hands shoot up. Nobi declares himself Minister of Plants, and the kids follow you out with the gravity of a royal procession. There's a plastic watering can shaped like a duck. You use it. It leaks. They think it's hilarious. Back inside, the circle time begins. Teacher Lin enters with a cup of herbal tea and a knowing look. She's the real boss here. The kids respect her like she's the only person who knows where the cookies are hidden. She smiles at you. Still breathing? Barely, you say. She pats you on the back and starts the morning song. It's about brushing teeth and hugging your grandparents. Half the kids mumble, the other half shout the wrong lyrics. You try to join in and are gently told by a boy named Hi, "Please don't sing." Doraemon doesn't sing. It's in the manga. You nod. Fair. Nobi sits in your lap, whispering, "After snack time, I'll show you where I buried the time battery." You don't ask. Snack time arrives. You've been entrusted to distribute banana slices again. This time, you crush it. Everyone gets their fair share. Nobi opens his container, inspects the fruit, and nods. This is correct banana form. Then he offers you a puffed rice cake as tribute. The moment is so sweet, you forget you're sitting in a room where someone is quietly sticking wet tissues to the wall in the shape of a ghost. You let the day unfold. There's a coloring hour where Shark-chan draws a three-eyed goat and insists it's your true form. There's a surprise music session that involves banging 2 blocks of wood together and pretending you're Beethoven. You make up a story on the spot about Doraemon losing his gadgets and having to ride a giant snail to recover them. The kids hang on every word. Nobi declares it canon. And just before the nap mats are rolled out, Kwa, the new kid, walks over with his lunchbox, opens it slowly, and offers you a small pickled plum. "You didn't bite me," he says. You laugh. "Not yet." He smiles for the first time. "So yeah. That's roll call day. You came in late yesterday, unprepared and terrified. Now you're the certified deputy time-traveling gadgetless robot of room 3B. A living Doraemon. With a paper crown. Sure, your back still hurts. You've got a suspicious stain on your sleeve. But Nobi's drawing a picture of you next to a rocket made of carrots. And Kwa just told his friend, he's okay. He doesn't even explode. You're starting to like this gig. The first rule of snack time is, never sit too close to the juice box fighters. You learn this the hard way. The moment you plop down next to Dragon and Bonmi, thinking you've earned a peaceful snack break after surviving morning roll call, They both stare at you like two feral raccoons protecting their stash. Dragon squints. Are you gonna steal my juice? Nope. You hesitated, he says, dramatically covering his grape box. Then Bonmi leans in, whispering, Doraemon doesn't need juice. Doraemon has gadgets. You lied. You're about to protest when Nobi slides in like a lawyer on a courtroom drama set. Objection. My client is clearly dehydrated. The judge? A stuffed penguin. The courtroom? For foam puzzle mats and one particularly squishy banana. Welcome to post-roll call chaos. By now, the kids have constructed a makeshift legal system governed by snack trades and nap privileges. It's delightfully lawless. You're not even mad. Just confused. They vote unanimously that you can't drink juice unless you teach them how to open a portal. You counteroffer with an animal sound quiz. They accept. You roar like a lion. Everyone boos. You meow like a cat. Mild chuckles. Then you do your best duck impersonation, and Nobi falls off his chair laughing. You sound like the school's toilet. Fact, the school's toilet makes a sound that could easily be mistaken for a dying goose. Maybe that's why no one uses it unless it's a true emergency. You're awarded 2 juice boxes for spirit. Shark-chan sits beside you and says, Doraemon, what's the saddest animal? You think. The turtle, you reply, because he always carries his house but no one ever visits. A silence falls. Even Dragon lowers his juice box. That's too deep, says Bonmi. I love turtles now, whispers Thursday. Shark-chan draws a turtle with wings. Just when you think it can't get weirder, Teacher Lin asks for your help during Story Square. It's reading time, which sounds peaceful until you realize the book chosen is The Giant Who Lost His Spoon, an oddly specific Vietnamese folktale involving soup, sandals, and a magical bean that only sings at night. You begin reading in your best animated voice. By page 2, you're putting on voices. By page 5, Nobi is doing interpretive dance. By page 10, Bonmi is asleep with her hand in the rice cracker box. Kwa, still wary but slowly warming, raises a hand. Is the giant sad because of his spoon or because nobody listens? You pause. A good question. You glance at Teacher Lin, who smiles at you like, that one's yours. You think back to something your dad once said during a long car ride. Maybe both, you say. Maybe losing a spoon is about losing a little control. Or love. Or lunch. The room goes quiet for a second. Also, you add, it's really hard to eat soup with your hands. Laughter bursts. Nobi falls backwards on his mat. Even Kwa giggles, his little shoulders shaking. Fact, this story is loosely based on a Lao parable, except the original version ends with the giant inventing chopsticks and becoming a food influencer. At least, according to a post you once saw on a Vietnamese parenting forum. Another day, another myth debunked by preschool logic. As you finish the story, you realize something beautiful. The kids aren't just listening, they're imagining. You can see it in the way Thursday holds her crayon like a wand. In the way Shark-chan draws a soup bowl on the whiteboard and labels it hope. Then, chaos again. It's dance time. You don't know this until Lin taps the Bluetooth speaker and suddenly, a bouncy beat fills the room. Nobi screams, activate dance unit. Dragon throws off his hoodie like he's about to break into an 80s movie montage. Bonmi starts flossing like her life depends on it. Kwa wobbles slightly. You're given a scarf. It's blue. Your dance tail. Show us Doraemon's groove, someone chants. You hesitate. Then you spin. Poorly. Then you shimmy. Disastrously. Then you do a robot move so exaggerated you nearly dislocate your neck. Nobi is howling. This is it. The prophecy. The music picks up. You lean into it. You're not just dancing. You're being Doraemon. The beat drops, and you drop into a squat, arms out, miming gadget deployment. A whoopee cushion sound effect, unplanned, erupts. Shark-chan faints from laughter. Thursday throws confetti made of torn paper. You look up and find Kwa, smiling. And dancing. He's doing the robot too, stiff arms and all. You mirror him. It's glorious. Dance ends in sweaty hugs and a quiet realization, you're having fun. You. The guy who was once afraid of naptime supervision. Lunchtime brings another challenge. The microwave is down, and the backup rice cooker is mysteriously filled with crayons. Nobody talks about it. Lynn sighs and says, let's eat picnic style today. Kids spread mats on the floor. You sit between Nobi and Kwa. Doraemon, Nobi says, if you could only eat one food forever, what would it be? Pho, you say. He nods. I respect that. Kwa opens his lunchbox and shows you a perfect onigiri. I made this with my grandma, he says quietly. You've never been offered onigiri before in a classroom filled with bouncing rice crackers and spilled soup packets. You take a bite. It tastes like seaweed and kindness. You smile. Delicious. He beams. Lynn calls out, after lunch, nap time. Instant howling. We don't need sleep, cries Dragon, as he yawns violently. But slowly, reluctantly, each one curls into their nap nest. Mats. Blankets. Plushies. You sit beside Kwa, now asleep, clutching his empty lunchbox. Nobi whispers, half awake, you're not bad for a gadgetless robot. You whisper back, you're not bad for a chaos machine. The room grows quiet. Soft breathing. Tiny snores. You look around and realize. You've memorized every face. Every lunchbox. Every laugh. You know where Shark-chan hides his toy shark, in the ceiling fan. You know Thursday likes her apples peeled, and that Dragon fears paper cuts more than ghosts. And you? You're no longer just that guy who showed up late. You're Doraemon, official juice distributor, dance commander, and bedtime backup reader. In their world, that means everything.
But for now, you sit on a beanbag, silent guardian of tiny dreams, watching over a pile of limbs and cartoon-printed blankets. Your left arm's asleep. Your soul is vibrating from the caffeine you had at 6 a.m. And in the far corner, someone is murmuring in their sleep, Doraemon, don't forget the invisible spaghetti. The air smells like chalk dust, tangerine peels, and that unnameable kid smell, an aromatic blend of shampoo, glue stick, and secrets. Then you hear it. A tiny voice, whisper soft, from the blanket mound near your feet. Are you really Doraemon, or are you just pretending? Pwa. You blink. You weren't even sure he was awake. He's not looking at you, just the ceiling. Like maybe it holds answers. You whisper back, what do you think? He doesn't answer right away. Then, I think you're not blue enough. A fair critique. But, he continues, you're warm. Doraemon is warm, right? You nod slowly. I hope so. He yawns. Okay, that's enough. He falls back asleep like that was the only thing he needed to confirm before trusting you with the rest of his dream. Fact, the human brain, especially a child's, often maps emotions to colors. In a recent preschool study, most kids agreed blue meant soft sky, or my dad's shirt when he carries me after I fall. You sit with that thought for a while. You look down at your shirt. It's not blue, but maybe it's close enough. When nap time ends, it's not gradual. It's an apocalypse. Thursday wakes up mid-fall from her cot. Shark-chan stands straight up like a vampire rising from a coffin, and Bonmi screams, I slept too much, I miss life. You try to calm the chaos with a gentle clap. Okay, who wants to build a spaceship? Silence. Then Nobi gasps. Like, a real one? Out of chairs and boxes, you clarify. Even better. By the time teacher Lynn returns from her brief lunch and emergency printer rescue mission, you've turned the back half of the classroom into NASA, preschool division. Thursday is the communications officer. She takes her role seriously, using a banana as a radio and yelling, "Roger, Roger, spaghetti cleared for liftoff." Nobi is the fearless captain. He tapes a yogurt lid to his forehead and declares, "This is my mind shield." Dragon and Bonmi are space engineers. One of them is trying to install a taco engine made of Play-Doh. Shark-chan is in charge of alien negotiations. He brought his shark plush, the alien. And Kwa? He's the navigator. He silently arranges crayons like stars. You lean over and whisper, "Where are we going, Kwa?" He looks at you, dead serious. To a place where naps are optional. That's a destination worth flying to. Then crash landing. Not literal. It's cleanup time. And cleanup time is the true final boss of early education. No one wants to stop. They're mid-orbit. You're negotiating with Dragon over who gets to keep the alien treaty crayon. Nobi is halfway into a cardboard box, refusing extraction. Lynn claps her hands. 5-minute warning. Then we tidy up for art time. Thursday gasps. "We still have art time?" You smile. You have no idea. Takes every ounce of Doraemon energy to motivate cleanup, but you use the secret weapon, the song. "The cleanup song," Lynn says. You groan inside. But you sing, loudly, and off-key. Clean up, everybody everywhere." They join in. Some sing. Some mumble. Some just sway like tiny janitorial seaweed. But it works. Art time is supposed to be calm. But that's before you realize the theme of the day is, "Draw your babysitter." You freeze. Thursday draws you with giant ears and a tail. Shark-chan gives you a shark fin. Dragon adds wheels. You're part cyborg now.
Nobi draws you with 12 gadgets and a pizza cannon. Kwa takes the longest. At the end, he shows you that it's a blue blob. But it's smiling. "That's me?" He nods. No tail. But you look nice. You crouch beside him. "Why don't I have a tail?" He shrugs. "Maybe you're still growing it." A joke. You're not sure. But you laugh anyway. Underscore 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 underscore. Then, just before home time, the fire alarm goes off. It's not a drill, just burned popcorn in the teacher's lounge. Again, but the kids go full mission mode. "Doraemon, this is it," Nobi says, yanking on your sleeve. "Grab the baby plushies," yells Thursday. Bonmi attempts to carry the entire snack crate. Outside, they line up beautifully. No crying. No chaos. You can't believe it. Even Kwa holds your hand. "Did you know," you whisper, "that in the old days, Doraemon's gadgets didn't work on fire alarms?" He nods. "Good. That makes you realer." And in that moment, standing under the half-burnt sky, surrounded by soot-flavored breeze and tiny soot-free heroes, you feel it. Not the tail, not the gadgets, just the warmth, the belief that maybe today, you are enough. It's late afternoon now. That golden kind of light that turns a dusty window into something cinematic. You know, the kind of glow where even spilled juice looks like it came from a Wes Anderson film. You sit on a tiny plastic chair again because somehow that's still your throne, watching the post-nap warriors reassemble their energy for one final push before pickup. You think maybe, just maybe, you've earned a merit badge in babysitting diplomacy. But just as you reach for your lukewarm water bottle like a man who's conquered Everest, a tiny hand tugs at your sleeve. It's Kwa again. He's holding a folded paper in his other hand, eyes down, voice like a whisper caught in a daydream. Can you write a letter to Nobita? You pause. You mean me? Write a letter to your imaginary best friend? He nods. I'll deliver it. I'm the post-dragon. This is not a moment to break character. All right, you say, but only if you promise to give him some cookies too. That guy runs on sugar.
Qua nods solemnly.
Post-dragons always deliver with snacks. You open your notebook. Scribble something about future gadgets, hugs from the sky, and how proud you are of a certain brave navigator. He beams. You know what? You say, handing him the note. You're probably the reason Doraemon came here today. I knew it, he says, grinning so hard his nose wrinkles. Even if your belly's not round. Later, it's story time. The circle forms with the elegance of a migrating goose that's had a bit too much jelly. You're handed a book by Teacher Lin titled The Tiger's Umbrella. You clear your throat. The kids lean in like this is their TED Talk. Once upon a time, in a village shaped like a slipper. Wait, interrupts Shark-chan. How can a village be a slipper? Have you seen this neighborhood? Thursday mutters, you press on, folding in voices for each character. The tiger sounds like an old Vietnamese uncle, the umbrella like a French opera singer, and the rabbit, who inexplicably appears halfway through, has a lisp and an attitude they laugh.
Loud.
The good kind. That bursty, snorting kind as you read, you notice a pattern. Every time a character makes a mistake, you add something like, and then the tiger tripped on his own pride. Or, the umbrella side. Is laughter a cure-all? It was about to find out.
It becomes a game.
Every blunder comes with a lesson wrapped in ridiculousness. You finish the book with a flourish. And from that day forward, the umbrella was never left out in the rain again. There's a beat of silence. Then Thursday yells, we need an umbrella like that. Bommy claps like it's opening night at the Saigon Opera House. Pickup time sneaks in like a cat. One by one. Little hands are claimed by big ones. Parents wave. Some shyly thank you. Others seem too tired to process that their kid now believes Doraemon is a real part of the faculty. Dragon's mom stares at the drawing her son made. It's a picture of you, riding a shark, holding a cookie cannon. He says you taught him diplomacy. She says you smile. It's what Doraemon would do. Qua lingers. He doesn't want to go. He hugs your waist, soft and quick like he's passing on an ancient secret. Tomorrow, he whispers. We time travel. His mom blinks. He's been saying that all week. You wink. That's because the future is tomorrow. Isn't that right, Post-Dragon?
He nods, solemn again.
Post-Dragon never sleeps. She mouths a thank you and leads him out. He doesn't wave. Just nods once.
Deep.
Meaningful. You feel like a background character in Spirited Away. One of the ones who gets one line, but the animators really put their heart into your face. And then, it's quiet. Not everyone's napping. Quiet. End of day quiet. The chairs are back where they belong. Crayon lids are semi-sorted. Shark plush is resting. You walk past the art wall. Stop. Look. There you are, eat eye and crayon, marker, and glue stick glory. As drawn by many hands, sometimes you have a jetpack. Sometimes you have bunny ears. But in every version, you're smiling. You didn't plan that. You were just trying to make sure no one stapled their shirt again. But somehow you smiled enough. You sit back down.
On the floor this time.
Let your back touch the cold wall. Let your breath match the fan hum. You're Doraemon, at-least for now. It's 7:14 a.m. the next day when your phone buzzes at a message from Lin. Can you come early? Shark-chan brought a squid. You don't even need coffee after that. You arrive at the school gate in record time, and there he is, Shark-chan, plastic bucket in hand, eyes wide, grinning like a pirate who's just discovered edible treasure. It's not a real squid, Lin clarifies. It's squid jerky. He says it's for you. Shark-chan shuffles up, holding out the bucket like it's an ancient artifact. Doraemon, he announces, for your time machine engine. You take it, bow with exaggerated reverence. You truly are a worthy shark diplomat. He beams. I knew it. Welcome to Thursday. Inside, the kids are buzzing like soda cans left out in the sun. Thursdays built a new school map entirely out of popsicle sticks and banana stickers. Nobi is attempting to convince Bonmi to build a snack-powered robot. And Kwa is sketching a time portal on the whiteboard. Today we go back, he says without looking at you. First day of school. You raise an eyebrow. Wasn't that yesterday?
He shakes his head.
The real first day. The scary one.
You feel the air shift.
Just slightly, this isn't one of his usual make-believe missions. This one carries the tone of a kid remembering what fear tasted like before he knew your name. So, you lean in, you kneel by the whiteboard portal. Okay, you whisper. Let's time travel. His eyes brighten, you count them down. 3, 2, 1, he shuts his eyes. So do you. And like that, the classroom fades. Now you're somewhere else, but you're still in a chair. But it's not plastic. It's too big for you. Your feet don't touch the floor. You're wearing socks that don't match. You've become Kwa. It's his memory. The first day. The real first day. You feel your chest tighten. All these adults saying, you'll be fine, in the same voice people use when they're hiding something. The hallways smelled like oranges and fear. You remember seeing a sea of faces. All loud. All moving. Too fast, then a woman.
Teacher Lin.
Smiling. Hand outstretched. And then someone dressed in blue. Not real blue. But shirt blue. Voice soft. Carrying a storybook like it was a treasure map. That was you. That is you, Kwa whispers. That's when I thought. Maybe school isn't a trap. You open your eyes. Back in the now. He's smiling. Thanks for going back with me, he says. Not everyone will do that. Fact, that might or might not be true in Japan. A study once showed that the first friend a child imagines often represents a quality they feel they're missing.
Courage. Warmth.
Or, in Kwa's case, someone who waits for them at the start of the maze. Mid-morning brings the incident of the soup balloon. Thursday is explaining surface tension. Nobi just wants to see if noodle broth can float inside a water balloon. Spoiler. It cannot. Pop chaos. You're covered in tiny bean sprouts and the haunting scent of fish sauce. But instead of yelling, you say, "This is why Doraemon never invented the soup balloon." They laugh. Hard. Even Lin, from across the room, chuckles. We need that on a t-shirt. And just like that, the moment transforms from "oh no" to "remember when." You help them clean up. You hand Bonmi a mop. She declares herself Queen of Soupland. You bow. When you sit back down, Kwa leans over. You didn't get mad. You look at him. Why would I?
You were experimenting.
Even Doraemon has failures. He nods slowly, then mutters, but you still smiled. And suddenly you realize, that's the magic. It's not the gadgets. Not the gadgets you pretend to have or the cartoons they watch. It's this. When soup explodes, you don't yell, you smiled. The day winds on. There's a game of musical chairs that descends into interpretive dance. There's a moment where Thursday demands justice because her jelly snack got swapped for a less jiggly one. There's snack time, with gummy bears and tiny cups of chrysanthemum tea that smell like old lullabies. And then there's the mirror. It's stuck in the art corner. Small, round, slightly cracked. Kwa hold it up. Do I look different? You crouch beside him. From when? From the first day. You look. It's the same kid, but his eyes are louder. Not scared loud. Confident loud. You look like someone who already survived the first day. You say, he grins. Me too. Then he hands you the mirror. Your turn. You look, just a tired face. Smudged shirt. Soup-scented. Smiling. And something else. You can't quite name it, but you think maybe it's what he sees when he looks at you. You lower the mirror. Still growing my tail. You joked. He laughs. A real one. You sit together for a while. Quiet. Just watching the light shift on the classroom walls. The whiteboard still has the portal drawn, but now it's open on both sides. You. The grown-up who walked back into a child's first fear. Him. The child who invited you in. You reach over and write one line next to the portal. We made it through. And in tiny handwriting below that, Kwa adds, let's do it again tomorrow. You're starting to get a rhythm now. You no longer trip over the shoe rack by the door. You remember that Shark-chan hates crusts. You even know Thursday's full legal name, which she recited dramatically yesterday like a royal decree. But today, the game changes. You walk in, and everyone is sitting perfectly still, silent, smiling. You hesitate. Okay, what did you guys do? Bommy points to the wall. There, in big letters, slightly crooked, lovingly colored, is a sign that says, "Welcome back, Doraemon." Class President K. Choe decided, "I'm not Doraemon." Doraemon. You resist the urge to correct it. Kwa stands up. He's got a headband on. It says leadership. Today, he says, we are making the future. Are we doing crafts? You ask. No, he says. We are inventing a school where no one is scared. You blink. That's surprisingly profound. Thursday raises her hand. Also, we vote that the bathroom line must include background music. You write it on the board, and just like that, you become the secretary of an imaginary education revolution. First proposal, the worry box. Anytime a kid feels nervous, they write it down and drop it in. Later, Doraemon, that's you, in case you forgot, will read them aloud and respond with a joke, a story, or a snack. Nobi immediately drops in a folded note you read. What if I forget how to tie my shoes and someone laughs? You grab your best serious news anchor voice. Well, folks, breaking news. Doraemon once tied his ears together by mistake. The crowd cheered. He became a legend. Laughter. Nobi does a little victory dance. Fact, might be true, might not. In 1984, a French teacher accidentally wore her slippers to class, and it made the national paper because the kids never noticed. They just liked how quiet she walked. Second proposal. Every class must start with a giggle. You ask, how do we do that? Shark-chan raises his hand. You fart and then say, it was science. You say, let's try something else. Thursday suggests, what if we tell a joke? Every day a new one. Kwa immediately scribbles one down. He hands it to you. You read aloud. Why did the clock go to therapy? Pause. Because it couldn't stop second-guessing itself. Cue the kind of laughter that makes a teacher clutch her heart and say, I needed that. Midday brings you to the best and worst part of this new school system. Lunch debate. The topic, chosen by Bonmi. Are snacks better than rules? She stands, arms crossed, as the first child democracy unfolds. Points are made. Snacks make you happy. Rules keep you alive. Someone brings up Shark-chan's soup balloon. Thursday says, is laughter a cure-all?
No.
But snacks are the Band-Aid. You realize this might be the most thoughtful discussion on early childhood governance in Sesame Street. You act as moderator, naturally. With a banana for a gaveled, the end, the class votes, rules win. But only if they taste good. You're not sure what that means. But you're writing it down for your memoir. Later, while everyone's outside in the Tree Shade Diplomacy Council, red, sandbox, Kwa sits beside you on the step. You like our school? He asks. You nod. I think it might be better than the real one.
He squints.
Why do grown-ups forget about this kind of school? That one hits you. You don't answer. Instead, you hand him a sticker. A shiny one. It's not forgetting, you say. It's just we get busy fixing things and forget why we built them. He nods. That's why we need reminders. He sticks the sticker to your forehead. You are our reminder. You don't dare take it off. By 3 p.m., there are paper crowns, sand and socks, a few tears because Shark-chan's imaginary dragon was uninvited from recess for biting clouds. But somehow, everything fits. The tiny moments, the big feelings, the constant movement between comedy and catastrophe. Before you leave, Lynn hands you a note. It's from one of the parents, she says. You should read it. You tuck it into your pocket later, at home, feet sore, shirt stained with glue and jelly bean dust. You open the note. It reads, Dear Teacher Doraemon, Kwa told me he's building a time machine to relive his first week of school. He says you're the engine. Thank you for running. Kwa's mom. You sit there for a moment, letting it land. Then you pick up your notebook and write. Lesson of the day. Laughter can't solve everything. But sometimes, it buys you enough time to remember how. You walk into the classroom the next morning and are immediately handed a spoon. By Shark-chan. Dig, he says, completely serious. You pause. Dig what? The tunnel, he whispers. The tunnel to lunch. Then he looks around suspiciously and adds, "We suspect the teacher's room is hiding extra pudding." You blink twice, look at the spoon, and nod solemnly. Let's dig smart, not hard. Thursday walks by, dragging a meter stick. I told him it's metaphorical, but he's committed. You follow the trail of imagination through chalk lines and a string of upside-down chairs, all forming what appears to be the great imaginary subway system of 1B. Welcome to Underground Day. This morning, Kwa has brought a cape. Not just any cape, a shiny red one made from an old umbrella and tape. "I'm the school spirit today," he declares. "My job is to fix sad faces." "Do I look sad?" you asked. He squints. "You look like you need milk tea." You hold out a hand. "Fix me, oh great spirit." He hands you a sticker. It's a cartoon version of a noodle. You put it on your chest. "I feel 82% better." That's the sticker's average healing rate, he nods. Fact, likely false in ancient Vietnam. Noodle charms were believed to ward off school boredom. Or maybe that was just a dream. Bon me at. Before circle time, Lynn gathers the kids for the big question of the day. On the board, she writes, "What would you do if you were principal?" Hands shoot up like popcorn. Nobi. Make every day pajama day. Thursday, mandatory origami hour. Shark-chan, jetpacks. Banh mi, 2 lunches. One serious, one dessert. You require every teacher to wear socks with cartoons on them. Lynn turns to you, smirking. "You're not even in this class." You point at the board. "But I believe in democracy." Kwa raises his hand slowly. "If I were principal," he says, "I'd let kids bring the thing that makes them brave." Everyone falls quiet. You ask, "What would you bring?" He says, "You." You didn't see that one coming. You do your best to not let it show. Instead, you give a deep, mock-heroic bow. "I shall humbly accept this terrifying responsibility." Recess arrives with a kind of chaotic wind energy only a group of sugar-fueled children can summon. The tunnel project is in full swing. You're now chief engineer. Thursday is sound designer. Her job? Provide dramatic sound effects when people jump over cracks in the sidewalk. You cross one. Thursday. Bush. Nobi. Y'all, this tunnel has lore. At one point, Shark-chan attempts to dig with a juice box straw. Banh mi offers to hold a trial over abuse of snack utensils. Kwa builds a checkpoint with twigs and charges admission, 1 smile per traveler. And you just go with it, because something inside you says, this is the real school, not the tests. Not the perfectly printed worksheets. This, the language of laughter, of pretend, of gently testing the borders of fear with a spoon and a cape. After recess, Kwa approaches you with a box. Inside, a sock, a crayon, a folded paper fish. He whispers, "Emergency kit. In case you forget who you are." You whisper back, "Do I need this now?" He shrugs. "Maybe. Just in case." You zip it into your backpack, though you're not sure why, but you suddenly feel safer mid-afternoon. Rain starts tapping against the windows like fingers trying to tell you a secret. The class gathers by the reading corner. Lynn's got the little match girl in her hands, some kids groan. Sad story again? Kwa says, "Let Doraemon read it." They all cheer. You take the book, you read it the only way you know how. You pause for jokes. You give the girl a rocket-powered match at one point. You make the snow sound like sugar. You end with your own line. She lit her final match and dreamed of a school where no one felt cold again. They're quiet. Then Nobi says, "We should send her pudding." Everyone nods solemnly. You don't even stop them from writing notes and drawing tiny desserts to tape on the window. You think maybe the match girl got them. By end of day, Kwa sneaks one last paper into the worry box. You read it later. IT says, "What happens if you stop coming?" You breathe in deep. You write back on the board the next morning. "Then I'll teach the stars how to laugh like you." You don't sign it. You don't need to. They'll know. Because they're building tunnels and sticker cures and remembering how to be brave. The morning air smells like wet pavement and something faintly like burnt toast, probably from the school kitchen's mysterious experimental breakfast. You step in, backpack heavier with yesterday's memories and today's expectations. Kwa waves a handmade flag. "Doraemon, Today we explore the forgotten arts. You blink. Forgotten arts?
Yes.
Like drawing invisible friends and making your shadow tell jokes. You laugh. Sounds like magic. Thursday pipes up. It's serious magic. The class gathers around a table cluttered with crayons, paper, and a suspiciously sticky jar labeled Official Imagination Fuel. You roll up your sleeves. First mission. The Invisible Friend Portrait. Each child sketches a friend no one else can see. Bon Mi's invisible friend looks suspiciously like a cat who refuses baths. Shark Chan's invisible friend? A dragon that breathes bubbles instead of fire. You ask, what's your invisible friend's superpower? Nobi grins, making homework disappear. You smirk, I could use one of those. Fact, maybe true studies show kids who imagine friends often score higher on creativity tests. You wonder if the same applies to grown-ups. Next up, shadow joke telling day and the fading sunlight. You teach the kids how to use their hands and body to create shapes. You say, shadows are like the silent ferryman, carrying stories without a single word. Thursday's shadow looks like a duck doing ballet. Qua's shadow turns into a giant rabbit eating a sandwich. You add a joke. Why don't shadows ever get lonely? Because they always have their hands full. The kids howl with laughter. You realize this might be the best kind of art, one that moves and giggles. Lunch brings you a surprised note from Qua, slipped under your chair. If Doraemon can solve a problem, what's the biggest problem in the world? You ponder while munching on a sandwich that tastes suspiciously like yesterday's pudding. You answer silently. Maybe forgetting how to laugh when things get tough. You wonder if you should share that with the kids. Afternoon lesson shifts to the silent ferryman, inspired by an old tale Lynn shares about a boatman who helps lost children cross rivers without speaking. Sounds like a babysitter. You joke. The kids giggle. Lynn adds, is laughter a cure-all? Maybe not. But it's a powerful boat to carry us through. You nod, thinking of all the invisible tunnels, sticker badges, and shadow jokes built so far. The day winds down with a storytelling circle. You invite the kids to tell tales about their invisible friends and shadow adventures. Thursday's dragon suddenly eats the invisible cat. Bon Mi protests. Shark Chan demands a rematch. Quan negotiates peace treaties involving extra snack rations. You laugh harder than anyone, because this is not just babysitting. This is a tiny revolution in imagination. As you pack up, Nobi hands you a crumpled drawing. It's you, surrounded by children, all laughing and floating on giant bubbles. You ask, what's this? He grins, the dream school, where Doraemon is real. You smile and tuck it in your bag. You don't know what tomorrow holds, but you do know this. You're exactly where you need to be. You step into the classroom, the hum of morning chatter already buzzing. Qua rushes up to you with a newspaper clutched in his tiny hands. Doraemon, look, he exclaims, thrusting it your way. The headline reads, Local School Launches Laughter Curriculum. Experts debate its impact. You squint. Beneath it, a quote from a recent debate floats. Is laughter a cure-all, or just a pleasant distraction from real challenges? The article argues both sides. You chuckle. Well, guess who started that? The kids gather, eyes wide. Is this school famous now? Bon Mi asks. Famous enough to make grown-up news, you say. But remember, every legend starts small. You start the day's lesson with a joke. Why don't schools ever play hide and seek? Because good luck hiding when everyone's giggling. The room bursts into laughter, setting the tone. Mid-morning brings a surprise. A special guest from the local library, dressed as the famous character from 1001 Nights. She wields a magic lamp prop and a suitcase full of stories. The kids are enchanted. She spins tales of Scheherazade, weaving humor and wonder effortlessly. You watch as Thursday's eyes sparkle, and Shark Chan leans in closer, whispering, Do you think she's really magic? You whisper back, In a way, yes. She carries worlds inside her words. Fact, storytelling has been a fundamental human tradition for over 30,000 years. You marvel at how this ancient art thrives in a noisy classroom. After storytime, the kids break into groups to create their own tales inspired by the adventures. Qua's team writes about a flying bicycle that doubles as a homework machine. Bon Mi's team invents a talking lunchbox that gives advice. You encourage them to add jokes, twists, and surprises. Lynn observes, it's amazing how stories connect us, even across time and culture. You nod. Like babysitting jokes, they're small threads in a giant tapestry of human joy. Lunch is a lively debate about what the silent ferryman might ferry if not people. Dreams, says Nobi, secrets, suggests Thursday, you add, maybe even laughter. The conversation drifts to how humor bridges differences, making tough days lighter. You remind them of the earlier question, is laughter a cure-all? They decide, maybe not always, but it's the best first step. Afternoon is filled with crafting, laughter passports, little booklets where kids write jokes, draw funny faces, and note moments that made them smile. You watch as Shark-chan meticulously colors his cover, naming it the official joke keeper. Kwa presents his with a grin. This passport guarantees entry to happiness. You joke, I'm applying for citizenship. They laugh. As the day closes, you gather the group. Remember, you say softly, every joke, every story, every smile you share makes the world a little brighter. Kwa stands, raising his school spirit cape. Tomorrow we make more magic. You smile, feeling the weight and warmth of your role. Because in this classroom, you're not just a babysitter or a teacher. You're a keeper of laughter, a builder of bridges, and maybe, even just a little, the real Doraemon. The morning starts with a sprinkle of rain tapping gently on the windows, a rhythmic beat that somehow makes the classroom feel cozier. You shuffle in, clutching your trusty umbrella, only to find Kwa waiting with a mischievous grin. Doraemon, he says, today is the great pajama day. Everyone's invited. You blink. Even you? He nods seriously, wearing superhero pajamas with stars and rockets. Why pajamas? You ask. Because, he whispers, they make the best adventures. You grin, secretly admiring the logic. All right, pajama day it is. The kids arrive one by one, each in their quirkiest pajamas. Bon Mi is sporting dinosaur slippers that roar when he stomps. Shark-chan has a onesie covered in tiny hamburgers. Thursday's pajamas light up with every movement. You find yourself wondering if pajamas really do unlock a special kind of bravery. Fact, probably true studies say children are more creative and relaxed when allowed to dress comfortably. You suspect there's some ancient wisdom in this. You decide to turn pajama day into a storytelling marathon. Each kid shares a dream they've had while sleeping. Kwa describes a flying school bus that takes them on trips around the world. Nobi dreams of a giant cookie mount. Thursday's dream is a bedtime story that never ends. You add a joke. If I had a flying school bus, I'd never be late, unless it got stuck in traffic in the clouds. The kids laugh, their eyes sparkling with delight. Lynn joins in, reading from The Adventures of Cricket, a beloved childhood tale. The story's mix of humor and heart fits perfectly with the day's mood. You notice the way the children lean in, hanging on every word. IT hits you. Stories aren't just for bedtime. They're the backbone of bravery, laughter, and connection. Mid-afternoon, you guide them in making dream catcher jokes, little paper crafts designed to trap bad dreams and replace them with giggles. Shark-chan's joke involves a chicken crossing the road to escape math homework. Bon Mi's joke features a dragon afraid of its own shadow. You contribute one. Why did the pillow go to school? To get stuffed with knowledge. They giggle. You can't help but think, maybe laughter really is the best dream catcher. The day wraps up with a cozy circle. Kwa, still in his rocket pajamas, asks quietly, Doraemon, do you think pajamas make you braver? You smile and reply, sometimes the softest things give us the strongest courage. He nods, eyes shining. You tuck the moment into your heart, because here, in these little adventures and shared laughter, you're not just watching over kids. You're part of something much bigger. You walk into the classroom and are greeted by an unexpected sight. The entire room transformed into a mini jungle. Paper vines hang from the ceiling, green streamers twist like tree branches, and animal masks are scattered across the desks. Kwa beams at you, dressed in a makeshift explorer's hat. Welcome to the fairy age jungle adventure. You raise an eyebrow. Fairy age. Yeah. Thursday explains. It's when fairies and kids live together and told jokes all day. You laugh. Sounds like my kind of era. The day kicks off with a scavenger hunt through the jungle, where kids search for hidden jokes attached to little cardboard animals. Each joke is a treasure. Shark Chan's favorite. Why did the monkey like the banana? Because it had appeal. You hear the chorus of groans and giggles, the classic dad joke, effect in full force. Fact, probably true, the earliest recorded jokes date back to 1900 BC in ancient Mesopotamia. You think, maybe, some humor really is timeless. After the hunt, Lynn gathers the kids for a storytelling session about the little match girl, but with a twist. And this version. The match girl's matches spark little fairy lights that chase away shadows. You watch as the kids' faces glow with wonder. You add softly, is laughter a cure-all? Maybe not. But it's a magic light in dark times. The children nod thoughtfully. Next up, an improv game where kids create their own fairy characters who have silly jobs, like Giggle Gatherer or Snack Fairy. Bon Mi invents the Joke Fairy, who sprinkles punchlines on everyone's date. Qua's Sleep Fairy makes sure kids have the sweetest dreams. You throw in a few silly voices and watch as laughter bounces off the walls like a forest chorus. For lunch, the kids craft dream pudding, a mix of real fruit and imagination. You take a bite and swear it tastes like a cloud. The table bursts into chatter about what they'd add if they could. Sparkles? Giggles? Endless naps. You joke, if only we could bottle this stuff. The afternoon ends with a quiet moment under the jungle canopy, where kids share their favorite parts of the day. You realize that beneath all the jokes and games, this is about something deeper. The joy of belonging, of being seen, of feeling safe. As you pack up, Qua tugs at your sleeve. Doraemon, can we come back to the fairy age tomorrow? You smile. Absolutely. Because this jungle is not just paper and string, it's a playground for hearts, and you're the lucky explorer. The classroom buzzes with excitement as you enter. Today, it's all about the beloved school machine, an imaginary contraption that supposedly makes school days easier and way more fun. Qua stands proudly next to a cardboard machine with buttons, levers, and blinking lights made from colored paper. Behold, the school machine, he declares. It can do everything from making snacks appear to turning homework into games. You grin. Sounds like a dream come true. Bon Mi pipes up. Can it make the teacher tell fewer jokes? Some are so bad they make me groan. You laugh and say, well, sometimes groaning means you're having fun. The kids start brainstorming features for the machine. Shark Chan suggests a nap time booster, a button that gives perfect naps in just 5 minutes. Thursday imagines a giggle generator that creates jokes on demand. You add a quip, if only my coffee machine worked that well. The group giggles. Fact, probably true, some schools in Scandinavia have laughter breaks built into the day to boost mood and creativity. You think maybe Qua's machine isn't so far off. The day becomes a mix of designing parts for the machine using arts and crafts and creating stories about what happens when it goes haywire. One story involves the machine accidentally turning the principal into a giant rubber duck. Another imagines homework being replaced by dance-offs. You encourage the kids to add jokes to their stories. Why did the robot go to school? Because it wanted to improve its bite size. The laughter fills the room. Lynn shares a tale from Doraemon where the machine's gadgets cause hilarious misunderstandings. You pause. Do you know Doraemon? It's funny how these stories help us laugh at our mistakes. The kids nod enthusiastically. You realize that through these tales, the beloved school machine is more than a toy. It's a symbol of hope, humor, and human values. As the afternoon fades, you gather the group to reflect. Remember, you say gently, machines can do a lot, but the best things, like friendship and laughter, come from inside us. Qua smiles, eyes sparkling. You pack your things, feeling the warmth of the day settle in your chest. Because this isn't just babysitting or storytelling. It's a journey into the heart of childhood joy. The sun filters softly through the classroom windows as the day begins with a buzz of anticipation. Today, the theme is first day of school, but from the eyes of the childcare teacher. You, Qua, ever the enthusiast, declares, today we'll explore the secrets of the very first day. The butterflies, the giggles, the surprises. You grin. Perfect. Who's ready to go back in time? The kids cheer. Do you start with a story? Your own first day, when you were about their age. You describe the nervous excitement, the new smells, the swirl of faces. Thursday interrupts. Did you cry? You laugh. Maybe a little. But I also learned that everyone feels a bit scared and brave at the same time. Fact, probably true studies say that positive first day experiences impact a child's attitude toward school for years. You feel grateful to be part of shaping theirs. Next, you invite the kids to share their memories or hopes for their first day. Bonmi talks about wanting a best friend. Shark-chan hopes the lunch isn't too weird. You joke, I once packed a sandwich that looked like a frog. The teacher wasn't impressed. Laughter ripples. The group then creates a first day time capsule, filling it with drawings, jokes, and little notes about their feelings. Kwa draws a giant smiling sun wearing glasses. Lin writes, I hope I'm as brave as a lion. You add a phrase overheard in a recent academic debate. Is laughter a cure-all, or a bridge between fear and courage? The kids seem to ponder this. Later, you organize a playful school machine obstacle course to simulate first day challenges, finding your seat, making friends, navigating lunch. Kwa races through, triumphant. Thursday gives a thumbs up. This machine's got some bugs, but it's fun. You chuckle, just like real school. As the day winds down, you gather everyone in a circle. Remember, every first day is a new beginning, full of chances to laugh, learn, and grow. Kwa nods, eyes bright. You realize you've done more than babysit. You've helped build a foundation of warmth and courage, one laugh at a time. The final morning arrives, calm and golden with the soft light of early June filtering through the windows. Today, the theme as the teacher is a kind mother, a day to reflect on warmth, care, and all the gentle ways you've held this classroom together. You look at the circle of smiling faces, some still in pajamas, others clutching their laughter passports and first day time capsules. Kwa whispers, you're like our Doraemon, but better. You chuckle softly, touched. You start with a quiet story about your own mother, how she used to tell jokes to lighten the toughest days and how laughter was her secret magic. Thursday leans in, eyes wide. Fact, research shows that maternal warmth correlates with children's emotional resilience. You wonder if that magic is in the room right now. The kids share moments when someone's kindness made their day. Bonmi recalls when Shark-chan helped him find his lost toy. A Shark-chan grins. I was just following this silent ferryman's spirit. You smile. Ah yes, the silent ferryman, a figure from folklore who guides others without words, much like kindness itself. You sprinkle in a debate phrase, is laughter a cure-all, or the soundtrack to kindness? The children nod thoughtfully. The rest of the day unfolds like a warm storybook. You all create a kindness quilt, each square a drawing or note about caring. Kwa's square reads, laughter is the thread that holds us. You add a joke. Why did the teacher go to school with a ladder? Because she wanted to reach new heights. Giggles erupt. As the afternoon sun dips low, you gather the group for one last circle. Remember, you say softly, a teacher's kindness is like a quiet light that never goes out. Kwa hugs you, whispering, thank you, Doraemon. You smile, feeling the day blur gently around the edges. The classroom isn't just a room anymore. It's a home, built with stories, laughter, and a whole lot of heart. Conclusion. So, the journey comes to a gentle close. You've seen the first day through the eyes of children who mistook you for a magical blue robot but found in you something just as precious, a friend, a storyteller, a keeper of laughter. Through fairy jungles, pajama adventures, and the creation of imaginary machines, you have stitched a patchwork of moments that hold warmth, joy, and innocent wonder. Laughter was never just noise here. It was a language that healed, connected, and inspired courage. In this quiet classroom, filled with youthful dreams and soft giggles, you realize the true magic isn't in gadgets or fairy tales. It's in the simple, enduring kindness that turns strangers into family. So as the lights dim and the fans hum their gentle song, you hold this truth close. Every smile shared is a star added to the night sky. And with that thought, you whisper a promise to return, ready to write new stories, tell new jokes, and keep the laughter alive.